What's good, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a nice day. Today I'm gonna be taking you guys with me diagnosing this problem I'm having with my window, potentially switching out the window regulator and the motor, or it might just be a simple fix. I'm not sure. I can't really tell what exactly is the problem until I get the door panel taken off. But the problem I'm essentially having is that my driver window makes a clunking sound every time I open and close it. You hear that? And then when I have the window down, it also will clunk when I close the door. So definitely something I should address. I'm gonna get started. We'll start by pulling off the door panel. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is pop off this trim where the window switches are. You're gonna want like a plastic pry tool if you have one, or a screwdriver. But essentially there's a clip back here. You have to take off the back first, pop it up, and then it should come right off. Like that, comes right off. And then there's two electrical connections you have to disconnect, so go ahead and disconnect those. Alright, next you want to lift up the door handle. Behind it there's this plastic trim right there. You just want to pop that out. Just like that. Now that's how you can see, actually you can't really see it. Back there is a bolt that you have to take off, so you go ahead and remove that. The bolt is a 10mm, and you're probably going to want an extension to help reach it. And then next you also want to use this 10mm, and there's two more bolts right here that you're going to want to take off. Alright, now that that's all taken off, the door panel should just pop off. Alright, I was able to get started just by grabbing the door handle, and then it should all just pop off. Just like that. Once you get the door panel disconnected, you're going to want to disconnect these electrical connections back here, as well as the door handle lines. For these door handle lines, you want to remove it on the panel side. The top one is the one with the ball, and the one that's shaped like an L is the one on the bottom. Alright, now we got the door panel off. I went ahead and peeled back these covers, and you can see there's a bolt in there, and on this side there's also a bolt in here. And those are essentially holding the window to the motor assembly, so and the regulator. So I'm going to go ahead, tighten those up to see if that fixes the issue. And if that doesn't, then I'm going to take this whole piece off and switch out the motor and the regulator. Alright, I went ahead and plugged the window switches back in, so I'm going to go ahead and test out the window, see if it's still making that clunk. That makes me think that the regulator or the motor is messed up, so I'm going to go ahead and switch those out. What you want to do next is remove this electrical connection, and then we're going to work on taking these bolts out to release the glass, and we're going to take the glass out, and then that'll allow us to unbolt this section and change out the regulator and motor. Alright, it appears I was a little mistaken. There's actually one more bolt up here that you have to reveal and take off to get the window out. Alright, now I should just be able to lift the window out. Alright, now that we got the window removed, we're going to go ahead and remove this black piece of metal. It has the window regulator and the motor mounted onto it. The way we're going to do this is just by taking out all these 10mm bolts around the perimeter. I'm going to go ahead and use an impact just to zip these off, just to make it go by a little quicker. Alright, just like that, it comes off in one piece. And here we got the window regulator and the motor. We have to take off this bolt, that bolt, pretty much all the bolts that are left. As you see now, when we lift it up, it all comes off. Now we just gotta pop this grommet through, remove this electrical connection. It's held on by like a clip. Got the old parts all removed now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the new ones on. All right, after we reuse the hardware that mounts the motor to the regulator, I'm gonna go ahead, unscrew these 3 screws, and then use them on the new parts. I had to put some gloves on just because the stuff's all greased up. It's kind of making a mess. So basically I went ahead, got the motor all lined up on the regulator. Make sure you get it in correctly. There's like a square piece you have to line up. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these 3 screws back in. All right, I got it all lined up how it should be. I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting those bolts back in. All right, now I got all those started. I'm gonna go ahead, zip them down. I'm just gonna snug them with the impact. I'm not gonna do any of the ugga-duggas because that will likely break stuff. So if you're using impact, be careful. I'm gonna finish tightening them with a ratchet. All right, got this all mounted up now. All that's left to do for this part is to feed through the electrical connection and get this grommet in place. All right, now I got it all put back together. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on the car. I was about to put it back on and then I realized that this alignment tab was bent. It was bent up a bit, so it wasn't lining up. So I went ahead, grabbed some vice grips, bent it back, and it should fit on now. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and put those bolts all around the outside, just like when we took it off. You wanna make sure to get these tight. Obviously you don't wanna over tighten them, but there is like a weather stripping seal around the outside edge of this, so you just wanna make sure it's nice and tight. That way you're not getting any, condensation in your car or anything like that. All right, now we got this all mounted up. What you wanna do next is connect these electrical connectors again and then connect up your window switch so we can put the window up, because right now where the window mounts is not in the right place because the window is rolled down technically. Now time to put the window back in. All right, with these bolts, you don't want to drop them down the into the door panel because then we got to take all this back off, which we don't want to do, so just be careful. Once you get the window all mounted, what you want to do, go ahead, close your door. You want to reveal this is the window reset button. It's on your window motor. And if you look at the panel right here, it is underneath this cover right here. You just have to go ahead, peel it up, and it reveals it. Now we're gonna have to do a special reset procedure. So I'm gonna go ahead, keys on, hold that button down, push the switch halfway till it's all the way down. Hold both for a little bit, and then release both of them. After that, we're gonna lift halfway up on the switch, let it go all the way up, hold it, and then let go. And it should be reset now. So if I go ahead and use the auto function, as you see, it's working great now. All that's left to do is to go ahead and put the door panel back on, put it all back together, and we should be done. Got all the wires connected and the door handles reconnected, so I'm gonna go ahead and start popping the clips back in. Make sure that when you first put it in, you drop it down, because this top part is part of the weather stripping for the window and it has to like go into this groove right here up top. All right, now the clips are in. Gonna put the bolts back in that I took out. You want to be careful not to over tighten these screws. I'm pretty sure they bolt into plastic, so they're very prone to breaking if you over tighten them. All right, this is another one of those bolts you really don't want to drop it in the door sill or in the door pan, wherever. Just you don't want it to fall inside the door because then we gotta take everything apart again. Make sure you line it up the first time. And then we pop on this little piece of trim, just like that. All right, as you can see, we're almost done. Got that piece of trim back in along with the screw. Got these couple bolts back in place. Now all that's left to do is to plug this back in, and then it just pops back in and we're done. It seems like it's binding up on something, but no more clunk. Definitely seems like it's working a lot better. All right, you want to make sure to check it from the outside to see if you're all the way up in the weather stripping. As you can see on my car, I am not. There's just a tiny little gap up top. This is an easy fix. All you gotta do is take the door panel off again, and when we were bolting the window to the regulator, there's some wiggle room there, so you just want to go ahead and make some adjustments. I live in sunny Southern California, so I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I might fix it at some point in the future if it's really an issue. For now, this is good for me. Fix my issue. It should be very similar on the passenger door. Only difference is taking it off and dismounting it is a little different. As you can see, there's like a door handle here. All you gotta do is take like a pry tool, pop up the bottom of this silver part, and there's 2 bolts to take off this handle. Comes off, and then everything else is pretty much the same. Hopefully I was able to help you guys fix your window in your Nissan 350Z. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, leave some comments, like the video. I love feedback. I really want to know what you guys want to see, so please let me know down in the comments. That's it for today. Have a good one.